Your home, nigga. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, get on that ass real quick one time. 144, baby.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole court. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about any part. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Puffer bar. Took a Zach, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like a dart. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shane Sharp. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Harvey. Try to hope it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking notes. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I make hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, the whole court. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our court. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fork. They ain't locked in with the counting when you speaking to me for. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Get them niggas bad, got them tied down and outdone. You can't do with them steppers. Niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch, like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I read that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, we whole court. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, so that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our court. And I just made it call. We gon' start another war. Yeah.
Buck roll.
This shit gon' ride.
You'll never see another nigga like this. Used to have that white bitch popping on the night shift. Now I'm one westward, sharper than an ice pick. On you rappers' necks and it's feeling like some vice grips. Yeah, that's light shit. Send my bro a kite quick. Ties of war, we ain't forget about you. Keep your light lit. Rappers can't see. Most of them scared to witness. Go and close your eyes. That's one right here for the trenches. Bad bitches, natural hair or extensions. Hood niggas that'll probably grip like some dentures. Runners on them fences. 23 and 1 out. Praying that commissary hit before it run out. Bitches on the gram, dog filter with their tongue out. Couldn't stay home because they found the dugout. Closed casket, burner in the low jacket. My co-captain, riding on these whole rappers. My hoes fabulous. Now I don't mean that derogatory, but
Shalom, Israel. This week on the Round Table of Truth, hosted by none other than Captain of 13,000 Mawa Quad of the IUIC, is going to have a special guest, Ike Taylor, former co-founder of the Gangster Disciples right in Chicago, and now inspiring leader of the growth and development movement. This brother right here is a Chicago historian and legend. You do not want to miss it. You understand? Tune in this Friday on the Round Table of Truth, live at 8 p.m.
I got 2 jets. If I can't make it through for them, then I'm useless. Sit down that roof, Chris, with a couple bosses after the war just to count our losses. It's not many. You see a smile on my face, but I'm not friendly. Gone on my way, sipping white Henny. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on the storm in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in the storm in my whole life. My whole life. It's so melodic. When I be dropping this ebonics, this ghetto phonics, it got me on the level supersonic. My bomb atomic, and you know where you can find me. Somewhere probably folding this paper origami. My name is pure as the Sani. My wave is like a tsunami. I went from 0 to 100, feeling like Ricky Bobby. I made a deal with the Reaper. Got a couple wives, they some key.
Halo apa niya? Barak. Yao Bashim Yao Shah Brakatham.
Thumb, clap it up, Akim. Get it on. We back in Jerusalem. Give Jerusalem a hand. Getting it on tonight. Please be seated, Akim. I appreciate you. The water. Oh, we're going to go into the entire no Diddy situation tonight.
No Diddy.
No Diddy. We'll go into it tonight, brothers. You'll have to explain what the latest is on the no Diddy situation. And I will explain to you how it is absolutely normal. And it happens all the time. All right. And it's happening now. There are people in the future that the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana have warned you of. And you never listen until it comes out in the media that commanding General Yohana was right. All right. And it's going to happen again. And it's happened before. We'll go into the no Diddy situation. We're also going to the bridge collapse in Baltimore. All right. To show you who the real Americans are. Our oppressor, brother, if you're Hispanic, he wants you to believe that you have no right in America. That you don't have a right to be here, that you haven't earned any privilege in this country. Well, the only people that were unalive during that bridge collapse were 6 Hispanics who were construction workers building America, and they lost their lives. At the same time, Hispanics have to feel like that they're unwelcome guests in America. No problem, warrior. That's exactly what the Negroes have felt like for 400 years. Unwelcome guests. Even though we were all dragged here and coerced to come here and forced to come here. But the minute we get here and we build their country and build their bridges, they treat us like we're not welcomed. Well, let me tell you something. Though our oppressor does not care about your labors, just know the Most High God sees your labor out. He sees what you've done here. We'll go into that as well. What's the last one? And the IUIC, the purple pigs, the purple pedos. I don't think I can say that word on TikTok.
Lavender Lads.
The Lavender Lads. Nate is going to give his reasoning. We have an interview by Nasty Nate, Bishop Nasty Nate of the IUIC. He'll give his reasoning on why he chose purple. He'll also explain how he became a cop and how a small-hatted person convinced him to become a cop while he was in the ISUPK. They convinced him to become a cop. Also, he'll answer the question of whether or not he's a cop right now. We'll go into that tonight as well. Why? Because these are the same stories, young man. These are the exact same story. The IUIC, no Diddy, celebrities, men with money who seduce you over and over and over again. They're all the same spirit, all the same story. And I'll explain that to you tonight, all right? Also, I have a few precepts I need to get into, okay? Whenever you're ready. I'm sorry. I'll take the questions. If you have any questions, I'll deal with those right now.
Concert, 1 second. Sir, so far, there isn't any questions online. Any questions in the room?
You got it, boy.
Easter coming up, sir.
I appreciate that. Easter is this Sunday, correct? If you need an Easter breakdown, we'll go into that as well. I'm sorry, someone in the room said they had a question. Please, you got it.
I think a quick breakdown of I was asking about, like, is the Pope the Antichrist in YouTube thing, and one verse I was referenced to was 1 John chapter 2 verse 18, which says, little children, it is the last time, and as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now are there many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time. And I like compare that with Revelation chapter 13 verse 18, which basically says his number is 6. His name is 666. And like I doing research, the title for the Pope, which is Vicarious Filii, like the Roman letters are numbers, so his number added up to 666. I mean, I don't know if it's a particular Pope, because like growing up in the church, we were taught to believe it's one person, although this verse here says there are many. So I was wondering,
is the word spirit right there, or is it at 1 John? That same spirit of Antichrist. Find that for me, and that'll help you understand, I believe. All right.
Okay. Because 1 John 2:18, it doesn't say spirit.
Right. It should be 1 John 4.
Oh, 1 John.
Let me get it for you, warrior. Stand by.
Spirit, sir.
Okay. Let me see.
Every spirit that confesses.
Yeah. Give me 1 John 4 and 3. All right. Ephraim, you can read that, okay?
Okay, how to count, sir? 1 John chapter 4 verse 3. And every spirit that confesses not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God.
And read that one more time.
1 John chapter 4 verse 3. And every spirit that confesseth not that Yahushua is come in the flesh is not of God.
Now, for time's sake, I'm going to break this down to you, all right? But it does not mean what you think it means on the surface. This is how the Catholic Church and the Christians break this down. Whoever says Jesus Christ has come in the flesh, that person is of God. But of course, that does not account for liars, right? That's something that I would pray one day you would start to understand, is that men of God aren't simply men of God because they say they are. Saying you're a man of God doesn't mean you're actually a man of God. T.D. Jakes says he's a man of God, right? The Pope says he's a man of God, but all of them swallow.
Right.
So simply saying Jesus Christ has come in the flesh, that is not good enough. So what is the flesh it's talking about? The flesh it's talking about is your flesh. And the confession are your deeds, your actions. You make a confession with your behavior. You make a confession that although in the past I was an evil person, I was a sinner, I was a drug addict, I was an unaliver of men, I was someone that harmed people. Now Jesus Christ has come in this flesh. And now I'm not that anymore. Now I have the what, Ephraim? The
Spirit
of
Christ.
Give him a hand. That's it. It's right there in front of you. I knew you would get it like that. Now I have the Spirit of Christ. And where is the Spirit of Christ? It's in me. You know those precepts, correct? It does his Spirit, it dwelleth within you. You understand? So when it says, whosoever does not confess that he is come in the flesh, it's speaking about your flesh or their flesh. T.D. Jakes does not make that confession. The Pope does not make that confession that Jesus Christ liveth in him, that Jesus Christ, the Spirit of Christ is in him. They don't make that confession at all. My people, they draw near to me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. You understand? So it's talking about that. All right, keep going.
Verse 4.
Yes.
1 John chapter 4, verse 4. Ye are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that
Greater
is
is he that is what?
in you.
That is what?
In you.
That's how you know it's talking about your flesh, not that Jesus has come in a man's body, but your flesh. Greater is he that is in you. Who is he that is in you?
Christ.
The Spirit of Christ is in you. It's in your flesh, and I confess it by my actions. Continue.
Than he that is in the world.
Who is he that is in the world? We're about to get to it. There's a he that's in the world. The young brother out in the bathroom. I see you having some problems in there, right? In the bathroom. You need to hurry up. Come on.
I'm sorry.
Please keep reading.
Oh, verse 5. They are of the world.
They are what?
Of the world.
They are of the world. Keep going.
Therefore speak they of the world.
That's why they speak of the world. The way the things that they say are things that everyone in the world says. Let me tell you what all men believe is power, money. That's what all men believe. That's why Puff Diddy was popular. Money. That's why Donald Trump is popular. Money. That's why they made Ronald Reagan president when he was a goofy actor. An actor. They made him governor, and then they made him president of the United States. That's why they made Arnold Schwarzenegger governor of California. 2 terms. Do you know who was a governor? Jesse the Body Ventura. Who knows who that is? My God, you got to have a little age on you to know who that is. That is well, you know, Mean Gene. Well, you know, Mean Gene. That man was governor. Because our people, when I say our people, I mean people, all races love to submit to rich men. So if you're rich and powerful, someone will make you president. Someone will give you their children. Someone will make you their pope. Do you understand? Their preacher. If you have a Rolls Royce, you're going to get a big congregation. If you have a $10,000 suit, you're going to get a large congregation. Our people believe that money is how the Spirit of God shows itself. And that's a lie. That's what the world says. You understand? When they speak like the world speaks. They speak about the power of money. I'm going to show you tonight that having money is not power. I'll show you tonight what real power is.
If I may, sir, like
Please.
the Bible verse that says you know them by their fruit.
Shalom.
It's like they translate the word fruit to material.
That's exactly it. I mean, the fruit, you know, from your job, you know, the money that you get, Captain. But let me wrap this up, then I'll get you. I'm gonna get him once. Let me just finish up. This is my time. Keep going, Ox. I can answer your question.
Verse 5. They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them.
And the world, they speak like the world, and the world hears them. Puff Diddy, everyone heard him. You know how many years the IUIC has been battling Puff Daddy? You know, I can't. It's hard for me to express to you because you're young in the school. But I remember the day that Biggie Smalls was unalived. And I remember being asleep upon my bed. And the brothers came into my bedroom and started jumping up and down. Jumping up and down. I rolled over. I said, what the hell happened? They said, they got that fat mother effer. That's what they said. Because, brother, we considered him and Bad Boy Records and Jay-Z to be enemies to the truth. Because as we were telling blacks and Hispanics not to sell drugs, they were saying you should. It was coming against us. We were out in the streets saying, don't sell drugs. It's wrong to sell drugs. They had Rolls Royces and Mercedes Benzes, and they had all the money in the world, and they were completely in opposition to the word of God. And that's why when Big Smalls was unalive, oh my God, listen, we knew it was God's will. And everyone in the school was so happy about it. That's how long Puff Daddy has been coming against the doctrine of God, coming against the peace that we must have amongst each other. He was saying you should sell drugs. Selling drugs is profitable. Selling drugs is how you can make it out the ghetto. Selling drugs is how you can turn into a record mogul and how you can solve all your problems with money that you receive from poisoning your people. Well, that's the world. He's of the world, and the world heard him. The world heard him. Keep going.
Verse 6. We are of God. He that knoweth God heareth us. He that is not of God heareth not us. Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error.
Oh, did I get the spirit of Antichrist? It should be coming up. Do you see it right there? Unless I gave you the wrong one. Let me make sure. Are you at 1 John?
Sir.
4 and 3.
4 and 3.
Okay. And this is that spirit of Antichrist. I didn't hear you say that. Maybe I missed it.
Oh, okay.
1 John 4 and 3.
1 John chapter 4, verse 3.
Mhm.
And every spirit that confesseth not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God.
Mhm.
And this is that spirit of Antichrist.
This is that what of Antichrist?
That spirit.
You having a problem in it? Okay. That what?
That spirit.
That what?
That spirit.
So this is what you need first. The Antichrist is not a person. It is a
spirit.
It's a spirit. And because it's a spirit, that's why it can be many of them. Right? There's not one Giants fan. You understand? Because the love for the New York Giants is a spirit. And so you'll get a stadium of people wearing Giants clothing and cheering for the Giants because it's not one person, it's a spirit. So this is how you want to think about it. There is no such thing as the Antichrist. There are only people that are Antichrist. Do you understand? Just switch your brain, get your brain off of the Antichrist, because there can be a the Antichrist. Why? Because there are many. So there is no such thing as the Antichrist, because there are many Antichrists. You want to think this person is Antichrist. The Pope is Antichrist. T.D. Jakes is Antichrist. The IUIC, the Purple Pigs, they are Antichrist. Puff Diddy is Antichrist. You get my point? Louis Farrakhan is Antichrist. None of them are the Antichrist, but they are against Christ. You understand? Come on.
This is very Antichrist.
Yeah, that's Antichrist right there, right? You see? Listen, oh, they love that. Oh, for years they love this. And we go out in the street and we'd say, you shouldn't sell drugs. You shouldn't be like him. They call the police on us. They hate us. They want to unalive us. Oh, but Puff Diddy right here in Harlem, oh, he's the king of this place. He was the king of this place. Everybody loved him. We're out in the street teaching and teaching and teaching. And they would ignore what we say and they listen to him. Well, now you're understanding what Commander General Yana told you. You should have listened. Now, here's the question. Will you listen about the next person? You see, this Puff Daddy thing can be very beneficial to you. It can be beneficial to you. It can matter in your life, and I'll show you that as well. I'm sorry, let me get the brothers who I'm missing in here.
So we have Atlanta in the building.
Give Atlanta a hand.
We also have Chicago.
Chi-Town. Give Chicago a hand.
And if I may, sir, there's a special interview happening this Friday in Chicago on the Round Table of Truth. If I can play the commercial.
Please, go ahead.
Okay, here we go.
Shalom Israel. This week on the Round Table of Truth, hosted by none other than Captain of 13,000 Mawa Quad of the IUIC, is going to have a special guest, Ike Taylor, former co-founder of the Gangster Disciples right in Chicago, and now inspiring leader of the growth and development movement. This brother right here is a Chicago historian and legend. You do not want to miss it. You understand? Tune in this Friday on the Round Table of Truth, live at 8 p.m.
Chicago, did you want to say anything about it?
Khan Khan, how about some of y'all sharp rocketah, sir? This interview right here, sir. This is a monumental interview. I don't think people understand the gravity of it. Like, I've never seen this brother interview. You know what I mean? He is the co-founder of the Gangster Disciples, which is not only the largest gang in Chicago, but it's one of the largest gangs in the entire country. And historically, they were one of the most violent gangs in Chicago and in the country. You know what I mean? And like this brother is the co-founder. So not only does he have a lot of knowledge, a lot of history, a lot of insight, you know, it's just going to be interesting and a blessing. You know what I mean? So like, I don't mean to sound Christian, but for the listeners to be able to tune in and hear this brother's perspective, hear his insight and how it all got started and the motivation behind it. You know what I mean? And also his view of where it is today. You know what I mean? Like I said, this is a first. You know, like I said, all these shows that they have with Gangster, American Gangster, 41st, 48, all this stuff, I've never seen this brother right here interview. So I'm pretty excited myself.
Give him a hand, it's outstanding. See, it seems like from what you're saying that the brother was co-founder of the Gangster Disciples with Larry Hoover, and that the brother is trying to change. They changed the name of the thing to Growth and Development, and that the brother is trying to change. And if he is, he's in the right place by listening to you and listening to Captain Mount Quad. So I applaud him for that. Well done. All right.
Come with con, sir.
My hand. All right. Good job, Akim. That's it. When is the interview coming out?
Well, Salaki, sir, it's going to be tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here live in Chicago on the Round Table of Truth. This is happening tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, everyone tune in for it. Go online and get all the details. All right. The water shot down.
Chicago, any questions? Any questions you have?
Yeah, Connor McCon, I do have a question from a brother, sir. Salakia.
No sweat out.
The brother said he wants a breakdown of Zechariah 1 and 8. Let me pull the scripture.
Go ahead, Warrior. What's your question about it?
He wants to know on that scripture. He wants to know who the man upon a red horse is.
Who are the men, or who is the man upon a horse?
He said, the question is who or what represents the man upon the red horse.
Okay. Who represents the
man? I got you. This is one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse breakdowns, right? Is it Zechariah?
Connor McCon, 1 and 8.
The red horse, it should say what the red horse is. These are spirits, all right? These are spirits. The red horse, I can't recall, but it's going to say so. It'll say what it is right here when you go to read it. Go ahead.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 1 and verse 8. I saw by night, and behold, a man riding upon a red horse, and he stood upon the mithril trees that were in the bottom, and behind him were the red horses speckled and white.
In Chicago, if it doesn't tell you what they are right here, then you got to go to Revelation 6, all right?
Connor McCon.
Revelation 6, I believe is what gives you the breakdown of what it is. Good to go?
Right. Connor McCon, sir, good to go.
Just look up red horse in Revelation. You know, you'll see it in red horse in Revelations, the 6th chapter.
Connor McCon, sir. And I have another question from another brother, if I could.
Let's finish that one up first before I forget, all right?
Oh, Slocky, sir.
Captain Desariak, you had something you wanted to bring out earlier? Oh, okay. I thought you had your hand up earlier while he was breaking down something.
All right. Said Revelation 6, sir. I got Revelation 6 and 4.
Okay, hang on to that. Okay, Chicago, you said something. I can't hear you.
Salaki, sir. I said I have Revelation 6 and 4.
Can you turn your microphone up a little bit?
Salaki, I don't want one moment.
Can't hear you well. Go ahead, Chicago. Do me a favor, Levi. Help the brother. Show him the table of contents in there. You can know what Revelation 6 and 4 is. Appreciate that. You got it, Chicago.
Okay. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 6 and verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red. Power was given to him that sat on to take peace from the earth. And
to take what?
To take peace from the earth.
So the red horse is the spirit of war.
God.
That's the red horse. The red horse is running, or the red horseman is running. In the book of Zechariah, it talks about their chariot. So meaning in your mind, because of cowboys, you're probably seeing it like a horseman is on horseback. But these horsemen are chariot drivers. So they're on a chariot, like a one-man chariot. Think of a one-man chariot, which is what the Egyptians made popular throughout history. One or two-man chariots. This is a one-man chariot being pulled by one horse, right? And that's what it looks like in the spirit realm. It looks like a man on a one-man chariot with a red horse pulling a chariot. In this physical world, it's the spirit of war. That's what's happening right now in Palestine and with the Israelis right now. War is popping up everywhere out in the Ukraine, in the streets of America. That's where all these mass unalivers come from.
Right.
Mass unalivers, in their mind, they're fighting a war. They go and unalive everyone at the football game or at the basketball game or in the mall or in the school. They even go dress up like they're in a war. They go put on body armor and get an AR-15 because there's the spirit of war on this person. They're going into a school full of children, but in their mind, they're fighting a war. So they get an AR-15 and they get body armor and they're ready to go because the spirit of war is on that mass unaliver. You understand, Ak? Chicago, you with me? You got it? I don't think you can hear me. All right. Solid. Next. Anything else?
Atlanta, any questions?
Shalom, Lord of Christ, Adawan.
Somewhere.
Just a quick question, sir. In Romans 8 and 18, for I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Could that was written by Paul? Could that be, for this time that we're the present time that we're in now also?
Absolutely. The Bible is written for our learning. There is nothing in the Bible that does not apply to you right now, today. Nothing. It's a living book. It's alive. There's no scripture in the Bible that is about dead men. Why? Because our God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. So these scriptures are alive because they're about living men who lived thousands of years ago, and those men are alive right now. You understand, Warrior?
Khan.
Absolutely is speaking about our condition today. Correct. Next.
Sir.
No sweat.
Sir, I have some questions online.
Please.
I have this question from Baba TV, Every Time Fire.
Give Baba TV a hand. I think I recall him out there with Syracuse, the one you know, right? Come on, go ahead.
The question is, what does the rabbit have to do with the birth of Jesus?
The rabbit has nothing to do with the birth of Jesus, Baba TV. Nothing at all. The rabbit is about Greek mythology and Roman mythology. Someone look up the significance of rabbits in fertility culture and fertility goddesses. The rabbit is a prominent figure in Roman and Greek fertility ceremonies, right? We'll look it up and the brother will put it up on the screen. You can look it up yourself. Officer, right here.
Salak yourself, I may. It mainly represents fertility.
That's give him a hand. That's exactly what it means. You'd be surprised, man. So I remember sometimes I tried to not use a term that is referencing another god. And then I just realized every term is referencing another god. Right. Every term. The term charity. Chariot is a god. That's a god, the term charity. Eros, which is where erotic or love comes from. That's a god. Everything is a god. There's so few things that are not a god or a goddess. Things in everyday life and our culture, really you're referencing a god. Fortune, luck, those are gods. So many different things. I mean, the list goes on forever. All right. There's so many. As I got 1,000 of them. Let me try to think of one or two that you might not have heard of.
Probably a Nike.
Please. Nike. I think you've heard of that one. Nike is a god. Go ahead, Levi.
Sir, the symbol of the rabbit stems from pagan tradition, specifically the festival of Eostre, a goddess of fertility whose animal symbol was a bunny. Rabbits known for their energetic breeding have traditionally symbolize fertility.
That's why there's a bunny associated with Easter, because Easter is the worship of a goddess. Her name is Estar. That's her name, Estar, and she's a goddess. She's a very old goddess, and people love her and make sacrifices to her, and she does not exist. She doesn't exist. She's a false god. And her symbol, or the symbol of most fertility goddesses, was the rabbit, because rabbits have a lot of babies. Rabbit mates, they have, 20 or 15 babies or something like that. And so because the rabbits are very energetic, they jump and hop, and they faint when they have sex. If a male rabbit has sex with a female rabbit, he faints, falls out. You can look it up if you want to see a picture of it. And people would watch it and go, boy, these rabbits really love having sex. They're really sexy, these rabbits. Someone give me a rabbit fainting after he has sex. Put it up on the screen. Let me show it to you. The Romans saw this and they said, that's what we like. And so Baba TV, that's what the rabbit has to do with Easter, but the rabbit has nothing to do with the death of Christ or Christ rising again on the third day. Jesus Christ did not rise from the dead on Easter. He did not rise from the dead on Sunday. None of that ever happened. That's a lie. Our King did die, was put in that sepulcher, and then rose from the dead, or by the third day he was out. But it didn't happen on Easter, and it didn't happen on Sunday. All right? It had nothing to do with rabbits or eggs. The egg is another symbol. You don't got what to ask for, do you?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Come on, sir.
This is why you have Easter. This is why you have Easter bunnies right here. Play. Sorry.
Makes me laugh every single day.
Round two. He back up again. That's him. He go, whoa, God damn it. Oh, people saw that out, and they said, that's what we want. That's what we need for fertility. Go ahead, Warrior. You got it? Go ahead.
Shalak, yes, sir. Charlie horse, perhaps.
He called it Charlie horse. Give him a hand. That's correct. That's it, Baba TV. Easter is a pagan festival, and it's old. It's far older than Jesus Christ. It goes back to the Babylonians, thousands, 6,000-7,000 years ago. Estar goes back 6,000-7,000 years ago. And that's that. Okay, good to go. Next.
Come on, sir. I have any questions in the room? No? Okay. I have a question online, sir.
Mm-hmm.
This is from Nazam Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Slaki, sir. May I have a general breakdown on Matthew chapter 12, verse 43 and through 45?
No problem.
Matthew chapter 12, verses 43 to 45.
Young man's a doc. You can read that, Warrior. 12 and 45. Matthew 12 and 43. I'm sorry? 43 to 45. All right. Any more questions after this one?
Yeah, I have a bunch of questions.
You got it. You can do it.
Okay. Matthew chapter 12, verse 43. When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places.
This is a very important UPK precept, right? Very important. This is one of those precepts you'll learn in Hebrew Academy, all right? The Bible says when an unclean spirit is gone out of a man. So to understand this, you want to understand you and you coming into this school. All of us, when we first came into the school, we all had unclean spirits. Where? Where, Ephraim? Inside of us. That's where these unclean spirits were. But then we came into the truth and we learned. And then what happened to the unclean spirit? The unclean spirit left. Now the demons that we had inside of us, they're no longer in us. They left. But where did they go? This precept answered that question. Where does the demon of drug addiction go when it leaves you? Where does the demon of sexual, miscreants and sexual lascivity go when it leaves you? Where does the spirit, where do all the demons, all the trauma of childhood, where do they go when they leave you? This scripture answers that question. Go ahead.
Seeking rest and findeth none.
So the demon of drug addiction leaves you. You smoke weed, you smoke cigarettes, that demon is gone. But the demon is looking for a new home, but it can't find a new home. So the demon is just floating bodiless in the air, up and down the streets, all over the countries of this world, looking for someone new to make a new drug addict, to make a new LGBT person, to make a new sinner. But the demon, the unclean spirit, cannot find a new home. He can't find a new place to rest. You ready? Please, you got it.
When the unclean spirit is going out of a man,
nice and loud.
When an unclean spirit is going out of a man, he wakes through the dry places seeking
Slower.
Rest and fitteth none.
Findeth none. So he's looking for a new home. He can't find a new person to live in. You're his home, but you kicked him out when you put on all black. You kicked him out when you took your officer's test. You kicked him out when you gave up drugs and pork and shrimp and illicit sex. Now he has no place to go. Keep reading.
Then he saying, I will return into my house.
Then he says what?
I will return into my house.
He says, you know what? Instead of finding somewhere new to go, I will return unto my house. What was his house? You were his house. So he decides to come back. What do they call this in the drug rehab world? They call this, officer? Zadok has it. Relapsing. Give him a hand. Relapsing. And in the NA or AA world, relapsing, I think, has a 98% rate. 98, maybe 99% rate. Relapsing. People don't understand this. When you come into the truth, this knowledge is not magical. It's not magic. It's a discipline. It's something that you decide to do. You look at this lifestyle we live, and you look at the one you lived before. You look at your family members, and you say to yourself, I don't want to be like that. And you make a decision to change. No one smacked you on your forehead in church, and now you're a different person. You don't dip yourself in water and become a different person. It is not magic. The Christians want you to think it's magic. And that's why you have a 99% relapse rate. You're always going back to the sin that you thought you escaped. The Bible is telling you why. Because that demon that left you, it needs somewhere to live. And if it can't find any place else to go, it is coming back. You're going back to drugs. You're going back to prostitutes. You're going back to weed. You're going back to pork. You're going back to Christmas. You're going back to Easter. You're going back to Thanksgiving. It's going to happen. You're going to have to do something that men don't want to do. Listen to me very carefully. You're going to need this one day. You have to do something that is hard. You're going to have to learn from your mistakes. That is a difficult thing to do, but if you do not learn from your mistakes, Satan learns from your mistakes. Do you understand? Stay with me. Either you learn from your mistakes or Satan does. He learns because he needs a place to live. So now here I am. I know that when I call this woman, or when I go on my old block or my old neighborhood, or when I hang around my friends in the world, I know that the last time I hung with them, I was getting high with them. You might have some friends that you like to hang around, but when you hang around these friends get you in trouble. These friends cause you to get arrested. These friends cause you to backslide. Well, you have to learn that happens, because if you don't learn, Satan will say, every time he goes around those friends, he gets high, he makes a mistake. I'm going to find a way to get him to go back around those friends. I'm going to have that woman inbox him. I'm going to have her go into his direct messages and talk to him. I'm going to have this friend come up to him and ask him to hang out because Satan has learned from your mistakes. Like a fisherman learns what the fish like. If I was fishing and I threw a rod in the ocean, in the water, and I had bait and the fish didn't bite, what would I do? I would change the bait. And if I changed the bait and the fish still didn't bite, what would I do? Find a new fishing hole. What would I say? The fish ain't biting out here. The fish ain't biting out here. I'd leave and I'd find a new place to fish. But if when I throw my worm in the water, if the fish are tearing it up, I'm staying here. I'm coming here every week because the fish are biting here. The fish have taught me about their mistake. The fish have to say, nah, I saw the mother fish bite that worm. I ain't biting that effing worm. The fish have got to learn. Learn from your mistakes. If you don't, Satan will. Satan is looking to come home. They want to come back. Well, in this scripture, this is how they get back. They went searching for a new home. They couldn't find one. They decided to come back to you. Young man, keep going.
I will return into my house. From with I came out, and he's gone. He findeth it
loud. Sit back in your seat.
He findeth it empty and sweet.
Say it louder so I can hear it.
Empty, swept, and garnished.
When he comes back, what happens?
Empty, swept, and garnished.
Above that.
When he came out, and when he come, he findeth empty, swept, and garnished.
When he comes back home, he finds it swept, empty, and garnished. The word garnished is decorated. So when he comes back to you, this house is clean now. There's more space. It's better than when he left. When he left you, you were full of, disease and halfway to cancer, halfway to HIV, full of smoke. You couldn't run. You couldn't jump. You couldn't do anything. Now you graduated Hebrew Academy. Your lungs are strong. Your body is strong. He's like, yes, now this is a good home. This is better than the one I left because now this house is clean, swept, and decorated. Keep going.
Then goeth he and taketh with himself 7 other spirits more wicked than himself.
Oh, let me tell you what he does after that. When he sees how clean that house is, he goes and gets 7 more demons, more wicked than himself. Brother, if you leave the truth, if you came into the truth smoking weed, when you leave, you're going to own cocaine. That's what's going to happen. When you leave, you are going to suck a penis. It is going to happen. Don't act like it can't happen. It can happen. You already left the truth. You already have broken your oath. You think you can get lower? You can always get lower. There is no bottom for a sinner. You can just keep going down and down and down. And a drug addiction alone will make you do things that are unspeakable. And you'll do them. Fear will make you do things that are unspeakable. So now this demon comes back not only with himself, he brings 7 more demons. That's the breakdown the brother answered. I think that's good. Get a young man a hand. Well done. All right. Stay on deck. I will be calling you again. All right. Go ahead. Next question.
Come on, sir. Next question I have lined up is from someone named Nikki. I'm assuming it's a woman. The question is, can a man have multiple wives? If so, why? And can a woman have multiple husbands?
No, Nikki, a woman cannot have multiple husbands, but a man absolutely can have multiple wives. Here is why, because there is no law against a man having multiple wives. Nikki, answer this question. Can a woman wear black shoes? When Nikki has that answer, you tell me what she says, all right? Can a woman wear black shoes? Just so you know, Nikki is your wife in the truth, who has a fake name and who is asking this question because she caught her man having another woman. She's in the school. You're in the school, and this is your wife right here. This is her. Just so you understand, all right?
Said,
Nikki,
yes.
of course, doesn't know that I see into her mind and see all things. I'll answer the question. Okay.
She said yes.
Why, Nikki? Why can a woman wear black shoes? You got to go fast, though. Any other question? Say it one more time. I have one finger, all right? Say again?
I have a bunch. Sorry.
Let's go quickly.
Come on,
I appreciate it. Do what?
While we wait for Nikki, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
I have a question from Trooper Aman Bayah.
Mhm.
Can someone get Exodus chapter 22, verses 16 through 17?
Listen, you women that have demons about these other women, don't come to the Passover. I'm just telling you. You got to stay home. Just stay home. Pay the $200 and don't come. Damn, how easy can it be? If you know that you cannot be in an environment where women actually believe in something, that's what you can't understand. Women in the UPK believe in this. If you do not believe in this, pay the $200 for someone else and just stay home. But do not ruin the Passover for other women who actually believe in the truth. What am I waiting on here?
I have the next question right here. Exodus chapter 22, verses 16 through 17.
Mm-hmm.
The trooper would like a breakdown and says, does this man still marry the woman or not after paying the dowry?
Go ahead. Please.
Okay.
Let's let the doc read it one more time. You ready to rock? Go ahead. Nice and loud and slow. Go ahead.
If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox or 4 sheep.
You get that?
Sheep.
So this is like a man who stole your ox. He stole. Is this the right one? Where's it supposed to be? Just say where you're reading from, Zadok. Please, are you in the right spot?
Yeah.
Where are you reading from?
Chapter 16. And if a
No,
man,
chapter 22. Sorry.
Go ahead.
and if a man intends a maid that is not betrothed, betrothed
Mhm.
and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
That's right. Correct. Meaning if you entice a maid, there's one way to get a woman where you go to her father properly and decently and you talk to him and he gives you permission to marry his daughter and you give him the dowry. Then there's another way that the Most High gave us to marry a woman where you go to her and you entice her, meaning you seduce her. And after you seduce her, you convince her to marry you. You have sex with her without the father's permission first, but then you got to pay whatever he tells you to pay. That's it. So the first way, you'll get a deal because you went to him properly and decently. If you go to his daughter and you just seduce her by giving her kisses and flowers and candy and niceness and she's stupid, then you're going to pay whatever he tells you to pay. Right? So yes, you do keep the woman, but the price is high. The price is high if you do it that way. Most of you are used to doing it that way because, one, you don't think that your wife is anything at all. You think she's a bag of garbage. So you don't feel you should go to her father. If that's the case, I hear you. But you'll find out afterwards that father believes that she is important. Right. And then he's going to charge you an amount that's going to have you in debt forever. Right. Everyone understands. Two-water warrior. Next. I'm sorry. Oh, go ahead, Zadok.
If her father utterly refused to give her unto him,
so then the father says, no, I'm not giving you my daughter. He refuses. Go ahead.
He shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins.
If the father refuses, who pays the dowry? Keep reading.
Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
Say that one more time. Oh, that's it. If the father refuses to give you the daughter, you come to him and he doesn't want to give you the daughter, then you have to give that father the dowry of what? What's the word to use? Did it say virgins?
Yeah.
Virgins, meaning you're giving her the highest amount. So let me give you a working example. You find a woman in a field, she's a widow. She's a widow. She's had sex before with a man. Or she's a hoe. She's had sex and she's a sinner, but you seduced her. When you go to her father, he's going to be like, nah, I don't want to make a deal with you. No, I don't want to give you my daughter. The judge is going to force him to take a gigantic dowry, which is worth more than his daughter, because his daughter is not a virgin. She's not a woman of marriageable age. She might be, 40s. Not nothing against a 40-year-old woman. Lord be with you. In the UPK, you become a virgin again. But I'm trying to just show you how women at that time were valued. If you were, in your 20s, you were worth more than a woman who was in her 30s, right? A woman who couldn't have children anymore. But if you marry that one, you're going to pay as if she can have children. You're going to pay as if she's young and sweet and supple and ready to go, even though she's not. So yes, you absolutely do keep it, but her price is now extreme. I think the price for virgins was 30 pieces of silver, or 30 shekels of silver, which I believe today amounts to $240,000. That's the amount today that it would be back then. You see what Laban did. Laban had that brother Jacob work for 7 years on his farm and improved his farm. Then worked for another 7 years to get the woman he wanted. So you understand, it's expensive, Ak, if you're going to go to the daughter. Very expensive, all right? The water. Next. 1 second, Ephraim. Let me try to clear this list off a little bit, all right? Go ahead.
Sir. Next question I have is from Darash Amath. Can someone get Romans chapter 7, verses 8 through 11? Darash just wants a general breakdown on Romans 7, verses 8 through 11.
So, Doc, you got it. Romans, the 7th chapter, started the 8th verse. What are the other ones we have while we wait? While we're waiting.
I have Chicago has another question, sir.
All right. Chi-Town, what's your question?
Colonel McCon, sir. A brother wanted a breakdown of Ezekiel chapter 28, verses 12 through 16. He wanted to know, why is it referring to the king of Tyrus as an anointed cherub?
All right. The reason it's referring to the king of Tyrus as an anointed cherub is because he is so rich. That's the reason. He's like, the Bible calls Satan what in the book of is it Isaiah? What Satan is called in the book of Isaiah?
What is it called? Angel of light?
Right, and morning star.
Morning star. Colonel McCon.
Chi-Town, are you familiar?
Colonel McCon, sir.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't mean God loves him. It's referring to his might and power on this earth. You understand?
Colonel McCon.
The precept you need is bright and morning star. Go ahead, Doc. Please, someone give the brother a mic. Go ahead.
Salakia, sir. Bright and morning star is there. A familiar thing with the college female sorority.
Oh, those. Okay, that's where they got the name from.
Oh,
Eastern Star is what they're called.
Right.
They're called the Eastern Star. I believe that star in the east is Venus that they're referring to, but you can look it up.
the water, sir.
It's different. It's referring to an actual, Venus or one of those stupid stars. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Add to the Ezekiel one, the lamentation, because he's in Tyrus, and on the map that was a part of Asher's land that they never actually went and conquered, which was the rich seaport, which is how he got his wealth off the country.
Yeah, that land was supposed to be our land. It was conquered and occupied by the other nations. Think about America. This land is supposed to belong to the tribe of Gad, the chosen people of God, the so-called North American Indian. Florida is supposed to belong to the tribe of Reuben, the Seminole Indians, the chosen people of God. But it's been given to our oppressor, and now it's the richest country on earth. That's what Tyre and Zidon were, or Tyrus was. the richest place on earth. What's another name for it? They got a Hebrew that's called the same thing. Phoenicia. They're just super rich, Ak, and that's what it's talking about. All right.
Come the water, sir.
Next.
Do we have that scripture ready?
So, Doc, you ready to rock?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But sin taken occasion by the commandment, votes and meat, although for matter of consequence.
Where's he supposed to? This is the right one?
Romans chapter 7, verses 8 through 11.
Okay, go ahead. Nice and loud, Doc. Keep going. Start from the top.
What
Start from one verse above it, please.
What shall we say then? Is the law sin? God forbid. Nay.
Okay, go up one more verse.
But now we are delivered from the law.
Now we are what?
Being delivered from the law.
This is what you need right here, young warrior. Now we are delivered from the law. So when you read this, of course, this is how you see this. You see we are free from keeping the law. If we're free from keeping the law, then you absolutely can violate a child. You can do that. Come on. Start at verse 5. Go ahead, Zadok.
For when we are in the flesh, the motions of sins, which we were by the law, did work in our members.
That's it. So when we were in the flesh, what does it mean to be in the flesh? Being in the flesh is slang for when you were carnal. What does it mean to be carnal? When all you cared about is what your penis wanted, what your stomach wanted, what your eyes wanted. That's when you were in the flesh. Now you're in the spirit. Being in the spirit means that you deny your flesh what it wants, and now you give the Most High what he wants in your body. So when we were in the world, when we only cared about our stomachs and our penis and our eyes, we did what? When we were in the flesh, what, Zadok?
We were in the flesh of motions of sins.
Say that we were in the motion of sins. What does motion mean? Action. Action. Right? Our actions were sinful. We were eating pork, eating shrimp, celebrating the bunny rabbit, celebrating Valentine's Day, eating pork and shrimp, going to church, and being sexual deviants. That's the motion of sin, the action of sin. Keep going.
Which were by the law, did not work in our members to bring forth fruit unto death.
Which were by the law, meaning what? Because our actions were sinful, now the law has power over us because our actions are sinful. To understand this precept, you've got to understand the relationship between a criminal and the police and an innocent man and the police. That's the difference right there. If you sin, then you are under the law, just like you are under arrest. Why? Because you committed this crime. But if you're innocent, then the police cannot arrest you because they don't have just cause, because they don't have any evidence, because there's no proof that you did it. So I can walk in front of the police with my head up because he cannot arrest me. But if I have a warrant, then I got to be afraid because the law has dominion over me. Everyone understands. Keep going so I can finish up. Go ahead.
But now we are delivered from the law.
Now we are what?
Delivered from the law.
Now we're delivered from the law. Case dismissed. I'm sorry. Go back up. Keep your finger where you stopped too. Go ahead.
I know, I read that. Which were by the law did not work in our members to
slow it down. Again.
By the law did not work in our members to bring forth fruit unto death.
Exactly. Which by the law did not work in our members. Am I missing something? Please read it. It did work. Read it again.
By the law did work in our members.
You're doing it too fast, Doc. Too fast. And enunciate. Slow it down and pronounce taste every letter.
By the law did not work in our members. By the law did work in our members to bring forth fruit unto death.
That's right. By the law did work in our members to bring forth fruit unto death. So these motions, these actions, and our flesh brought forth fruit unto death, meaning the thing that we grew from this tree that we planted killed us. It's like everything. You like the term, you reap what you sow, right? Meaning if I'm going to plant sin in the ground, then the tree that grows that I will eat from is death, because I've planted it. You deserve what happens to you. That is, brother, that is such an education that I received in this truth. It was so pivotal to me because before that, I thought, I just had bad luck. I was always in the wrong place at the wrong time. Always, every time. Any bar I go into, the shootout happens. Lo and behold, there's brothers that live like that. I live like that, where I went out to the club, it happened again. Got into a fight again in this bar, in this nightclub. Oh, there are damn near no nightclubs left in Harlem, Philadelphia, or Chicago. Why? Because every time you go into the club, you know what happens? Niggas be in there fighting. Yeah, I'm the nigga in there. It's me. I'm the nigga in there that causes all of these fights. I'm the one you can't bump a little bit in a crowded club. I think about myself right now, what an idiot I was. There's no room in the bar. If someone touched this shoulder here, Asher, like brush against your shoulder, it was time to feed the worms. Because now, where is he supposed to go? There's no space to walk. Where is he supposed to go? But brother, that right here, this feeling, another bar shut down, another club. We can never have a club in North Philly. We can never have a bar in Harlem. All these bars in Harlem, they used to be great bars in Harlem, brother. Oh my God. What was the other one? Begin with a C. There was so many good ones. Remember, right around here, that burger spot. Go ahead.
So you said starts with a C. Could you possibly be talking about the Cotton Club?
I forgot about that one. That was excellent. The Lennox Lounge.
Yes.
It was another one. Now, that's not the one begins with a C. It's another one that was like around in the 80s. And, before you know it, they all got to close. All of them have to close. Well, those actions cause death. It's not just bad luck. It's not just you in the wrong place at the wrong time. You deserve what happens to you. When they kicked you out of school, you deserve that. You deserve to get suspended. You deserve to be evicted. You deserve to go to jail. You deserve all of it. Because you're the reason that the law has dominion over you. You cause it. Keep going.
But now we are delivered from the law.
But now, read that again.
But now we are delivered from the law.
Read again.
We are delivered from the law.
But now we're delivered from the law. Why? Because we're not shooting up a bar. We're not fighting in the bar. We're not doing all these things that cause death to come into our life. So now when the police come look for who shot that cat, I don't know. That wasn't me. I didn't hit him. I didn't do any of that. That's a beautiful thing to be able to say that, which and tell the truth, I couldn't say. You couldn't, before the truth, you could never look a cop in his eye. You could never just stand up to him and go, what are you here for? You want an ID? Here it is. Here's my ID. You want to, what do you want? You can't do that in the world because you are afraid of retribution. You're afraid of getting what you have coming to you. But now we are delivered from the law. The law is not speaking about not eating pork. The law is speaking about the man that stones people for eating pork. That's the law. Do you understand? The commandment is don't eat pork. The law is stone him if he eats pork. The law is more of a judicial document. It's telling you what to do to people who break the law. Let me give you a perfect example. Give me the law against LGBT in Leviticus, and I'll show you.
8:20.
The water. Where is it? Leviticus 19 and 20, or am I thinking about something else?
20 and 13.
Leviticus 20 and 13, quickly. Then we got to go into No Diddy and the IUIC. Go ahead.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and verse 13.
You got it.
If a man also lie with mankind, as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death.
So when you read this scripture, this is what you don't hear. You don't hear, don't lie with mankind as you lie with a woman. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say, don't lie with mankind as you lie with a woman. It's telling the priest what to do to people who lie with a man like he would lie with a woman. They shall surely be put to death. It's not talking to the sodomite. It's talking to the law. It's talking to the priest that unalives people for committing this act. Everybody understands. So this is the law, right? But if you are not a man who is committing LGBT actions, then you are delivered from the law. You don't have to worry about this. This has nothing to do with you because you're not doing it. Everybody gets it. Say again. You didn't do it. Say again. Diddy did it. I think Diddy did it. That's a good one. That's a good one, Levi. All right. All right. Clap it up. I think we're good here. All right. What about the sister with the black shoes on?
No response.
No response. Call your wife and tell her to respond. She gone. She gone. Okay, let's go to what we have here. Okay, everybody knows what happened this week. You'll have to explain it to me a little taste, all right? Puff Diddy, he's super famous. Been famous, I think, for 25 years. Right back with Biggie Smalls, back in the 90s, 96 or something like that. With Biggie Smalls and Bad Boy for Life and Mace and, oh, it was a giant thing. He was Biggie Smalls and Puff Daddy, Jay-Z. They were all an example of the American dream, of black excellence. That's what they would say about Puff Diddy. They would say he's an example of black excellence. You know, everything that black people should aspire to being. He came from the bottom, from the ghetto, made it all the way to the top. All of us were supposed to idolize Puff Diddy. All of us were supposed to be like him. At the same time, Commanding General Yohana was telling us never to be like Puff Daddy. Right. Well, this week, the FBI raided 2 of Puff Daddy's homes, took every bit of everything they could find out of there. And this is a news story about it on Fox News. I'll play it and it might tie up some loose ends. You got it.
So just to give you a little bit of a background, this is from Vox Media. It says the sexual assault and trafficking allegations against Diddy explained. It says, especially in the 90s and 2000s, Diddy was a figure of enormous power, not just in hip hop, but in business and entertainment world. In recent months, however, multiple people have sued him, saying that he used that influence and wealth to sexually victimize and, in some cases, traffic them while avoiding consequences for decades. So now this new story is that multiple people are suing Puff Daddy, saying that he victimized them, coerced them into sex, trafficked them. Traffic is a hard thing for me to even understand what the hell that means. Some lawyer out there can explain to me what it means. As far as I can tell, if you just take somebody from one city to another and tell them that they have to have sex with you or else you won't give them money or you won't give them a way back. Come on. Sex trafficking is taking people, either coercing them, forcing them, or willingly to use them for sex purposes as a form of income or business.
So how is it different than pandering or pimping?
Pimping primarily could be just in one location, but sex trafficking is like a whole operation where you're going to find women, then taking them from where they are, either willingly or by force, bringing them over here to, let's say, going to Epstein's Island. That was sex trafficking. Taking women from New York, and bringing them to Texas to sell them or have people use them for sex, for influence or monetary gain.
So, like in Puff Diddy's case, he gets a woman from California, flies her to New York and then tells her she has to have sex with his friends or some man that's there that he wants her to have sex with. That's sex trafficking.
That is, yeah, in a simple form.
Levi.
If I may, sir, another example: the Clintons, they were accused of sex trafficking children from Haiti. And what they would do is take children from Haiti, supposedly using the pretext of adopting them, then taking them to the Dominican Republic. And Lord knows what happened to these children. And that was being done without the government of Haiti being aware.
In the back.
Salaki, so if I may, actually, they was charging the boxer Jack Johnson for sex trafficking because he was always with white women. So they was charging for some. So that's how he went to jail. He beat the charge because it wasn't sex trafficking, but that's what he was charged
They
with.
repealed the act. That was called the Mann Act. That one. So now there's this thing called sex trafficking, which I never heard of till a few years ago. But it's you hear what Asher just said. Okay, it's you travel with him, you get Puff Daddy, he's getting them to have sex with all these people, all these men, forcing them to do it. And that's sex trafficking. All right. So now are we good with this or not?
I'm gonna play the video
Go
that you
ahead.
sent me, sir. Okay, here we go.
Now, Diddy called these his freak out parties. In attendance were celebrities, politicians, athletes, international dignitaries like British royalty, Prince Harry,
Room can't hear
and music label executives.
Raise the volume.
Raise it right
Lil
there.
Rod claimed some of the. Now, Diddy called these his freak out parties.
Yikes.
In attendance were celebrities, politicians, athletes, international dignitaries like British royalty, Prince Harry, and music label executives. Lil Rod claimed some of the biggest names in the recording industry sponsored these parties with sex workers, drugs, and underage girls. The CEO of Universal Music, Lucian Grange, is named as a defendant. So is the former CEO of Motown Records, Ethiopia, Habert Mariam, and others. Lil Rod says hidden cameras were in every room of Diddy's homes. Lil Rod believes that Mr. Combs possesses compromising footage of every person that has attended his freak-off parties and his house parties. Salacious tapes of Hollywood's biggest names, including record CEOs and politicians, doing drugs and cavorting with prostitutes and minors. The complaint argues that these freak-off parties were a business model. Young and up-and-coming talent attended and were promised career opportunities and access to music executives. They were then plied with drugs and alcohol, filmed. Some were blackmailed. There was a quid pro quo, according to the complaint. Lil Rod said not only were these music executives sponsoring these parties, they were handing Diddy large sums of cash that he used to pay for the sex workers and drugs.
Damn. Oh boy, he's a black eye on Harlem, Mark. This cat here, a black eye on Jerusalem. Well, this is what Commander General Yohana was trying to tell you, brother. He was trying to tell you this about this person for years. He's like Jeffrey Epstein. Yep. If these allegations are true, he's like Jeffrey Epstein, taping everything. The brothers was telling the Zaryak, he told me that the FBI was in there to get all those videotapes. Because I guarantee Trump is on one of those videotapes. There is no way that Donald Trump from New York back in the 90s did not go to one of those parties, or that Diddy didn't go to one of his, because back in the 90s, they were all together. That Mike Tyson too. That Mike Tyson, Donald Trump, and Puff Diddy back in the 90s, like they were just always together, all the same. Jay-Z also, all the same, and a ton of Edomite politicians and that nasty Oprah, her too, down there at those parties that now he's about to go to jail for, allegedly. Now, first of all, I know this is a very big story, but this is not a new story. Here's something that Commander General Yohana has always been trying to teach you. You better watch who your heroes are. You better be careful who you choose as your heroes. Too many times you choose your heroes because they entertain you. And that's not the same thing as leading you. Leading you is different. entertainers have always been like this, and you've always idolized them. Let me show you one. Show me Richard Pryor.
But I just also want to let you know that Officer Chapat from Texas, I believe Texas, just sent me the United States Federal Court of Southern District of New York of Rodney Jones against Sean Combs and a few other people.
So they are charging him, it sounds like.
Yeah, I have the whole.
No, he ain't been arrested. I think that's
It's a civil. Okay, it's a civil case. Okay, that's different than that's just going to take a ton of cash from you.
The civil action concept.
That's a lot of money. All this money that you idolize him for is about to disappear. All right, check this out. Here's another one of your heroes. Raise your hand if you've heard of Richard Pryor. Everyone in the class. He's your hero. He was your father's hero, wasn't he? Richard Pryor. Well, first give me the news article about Richard Pryor. You have it by Marlon Brando? Check this out. Read that, please, Asher.
Sir. It says here, this is from The Guardian by Marlon Brando. Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando were lovers. Pryor's widow confirms.
Richard Pryor's widow said that they were lovers. Now, listen, maybe it's a rumor. Maybe she's lying. Play the next video.
Wait, you don't want me to keep going?
Oh, yeah, that's all you need.
I want to
play the YouTube clip.
Here we go.
No, never fuck a faggot. No, now I like to say this on film because to all American male persons, never fuck a faggot because they will lie. They always say, I won't tell. They lie. They can't wait till you finish fucking them. Well, guess who was here, honey? Girl, look here. Well, the nigga got more bitch in him than me. Don't ever give a faggot head because you really be low down there, right? Y'all act like you ain't never sucked a dick or something. Yeah, I mean, no sorry, Bob. We've never ever touched a penis in our lives. We're real men. I sucked a dick. You can get a habit from sucking dick. You're men. I sucked a dick. You can get a habit from sucking dick.
Yeah, see that's not a rumor. Yeah, those your heroes. You love them, don't you? You better find better heroes, brothers. I found a better hero. I found a better hero. I pray you understand. I'm not quite done. Who ever heard of Eddie Murphy? Raise your hand. Oh, Lord. What was that movie he just came out with? He redid the movie again. Coming to America. Oh, and all those Christmas classics. All of the funny movies. Raw, Delirious. Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, and 3. Oh, he's your hero. You aspire to be like him. When you see him, you go, that is who I want to be like. He looks like me, and he's rich. Play the video.
I love my wife, and I'm not gay, and I'm not, and that's what's weird about this, to have your sexuality question and your moral fiber question and all that, when all I was doing was trying to be nice to somebody.
Eddie Murphy tells ET that his wife and children were out of town, says he wanted something to read and went to a late-night newsstand. He stopped here and picked up the suspected transsexual at 4:45 in the morning. He says he thought he was aiding a distraught woman.
Looks like a pretty Hawaiian girl in the corner crying. It looks like she was crying. She goes, oh, Eddie Murphy. She noticed him at the light. She recognized Eddie Murphy. Oh, my God. So I go, what are you doing? Why are you out here working the streets so late? She goes, oh, I'm on my way home. Can you give me a ride home?
Police tailed them for 2 miles before pulling him over. Police say he is guilty of no misconduct, but there was a warrant out for the alleged prostitute. A judge has ordered that man, 20-year-old Addison Ciuli, to serve 90 days in jail. Murphy says he has often stopped to try to help prostitutes, but here is what he said in an impromptu news conference on the set of his new movie.
Being a good Samaritan blew up in my face, basically, what happened. And I'm never giving anyone a lift. I'm not.
He's just being a good Samaritan. It's shameful to even use that term about picking up a transsexual. To even use the term good Samaritan is so wicked. It's like Biggie Smalls having the 10 crack commandments. How dare he use the 10 commandments to talk about 10 rules of selling drugs to black people? Well, being a good Samaritan is not about picking up a transsexual when your wife is out of town at 4:50 a.m. That's a whole different thing. And it's disgusting to use that term, to do something so evil. Young man.
Salakia, sir.
Mm-hmm.
If Eddie Murphy heard that story coming from someone else, he would have the funniest joke about it in the world.
Because it's laughable.
It's very laughable. Also, if I may,
please.
That time of early morning to get a book, he should have reached for his Bible.
He should have read his Bible. He went. That went over my head that he was getting a book at 4:50 a.m. But let me tell you something. These are the people that we have chosen to be heroes. Now, is this singular to blacks or Hispanics? These are the same heroes as white people. White people have pedophiles as their heroes. Elvis Presley, who was a pedophile, who went and got a 13-year-old girl while he was 30 and raised her up and then had sex with her and then married her legally when she got of age.
What about politicians?
Jesus Christ. Bill Clinton. Let me give you another one, Asher. The water. You keyed. I forgot about that. Let me show you the politician. This cat was head of the Republican Party. Now, as you know, the Republican Party is one of the two parties in American politics. The political party of Abraham Lincoln, Ronald Reagan, George Bush, both George Bushes. This is the head of the Republican Party. Asher.
Conservative heavyweight Matt Schlapp is agreeing to a hefty settlement to end a sexual assault lawsuit.
Here we go. What we have learned is, in fact, there was a payment to settle this suit, that it was $480,000, almost $500,000. It is a significant payout in a case like this. It was paid by an insurance company on behalf of Schlapp and the ACU. That is the important distinction here. So it's also notable because when Schlapp and his legal team announced that it had been dismissed, they made it sound as if he had been exonerated and cleared. He made a statement saying, from the beginning, I asserted my innocence. He did an interview that made it sound as if he had been cleared. He posted something on Twitter, which has now been deleted.
That was corroborated by text message. Conservative activist Matt Schlapp is facing new.
Okay, this cat was sued for. Are we on TikTok? I bleep this out if I say some things is wrong. He R'd a man. The R word, a man. And the man sued him and he gave this cat $484,000. Play, this is him right here. If you see his face one day, you'll know who we're talking about. Go ahead. Common with your leaders, because you don't choose your leaders based on morality. You choose your leaders based on money. And every time you do it, you're going to be let down when you find out who your leader really is, when you find out the actions that he really takes. Please.
What happens if your leaders think it's okay to sexually assault people?
Well, if I could, now we know about the sexual pedophiles of today, the people who are caught today. Let me give you the sexual predators of tomorrow. Right here are the new sexual predators. These are the next ones. And you'll find a thread that goes through every sexual predator, every deviant. It's a entitlement to sex. They all have it. They all have this thing like, this woman must have sex with me. She doesn't have a choice. She has to do it. You must. I'm rich. You know who else is a rapist? Mike Tyson. Did I tell you about that? Mike Tyson, raise your hand if you knew Mike Tyson was a convicted rapist. Yeah, he's a convicted rapist and did 5 years in prison for raping a woman, raping her. He's your hero, however. Not if you have daughters, Akim. Right. Not if you have a daughter. You'll choose better heroes if you have daughters. All right? Don't pick the person who is rich, who you idolize because of the money that they have. You're going to be led by someone who leads you into death. Play.
Some of the men will rape you to correct the nature within you, to make it go back to the masculine that you're supposed to desire. That's what they call corrective rape.
But that need to come in America.
Rape.
But that need to come in America.
That's enough. This is IUIC, and IUIC saying that you can correct a woman who's lesbian by raping her. You'll give her the new spirit of masculine love if you rape sexually assault a lesbian. If you sexually assault her, that is that thing that's in Puff Diddy, Bill Clinton, Ronald Reagan, Jeffrey Epstein. It's like this belief that, you know, she must do it. And then they'll pull 1 Corinthians 7 to what? Justify assaulting a woman, to justify forcing yourself on her. Come on up.
Slack, sir, if I may, wouldn't that be breaking the law though? Because the law tells you shouldn't be taking a woman.
Yeah, that
period.
would be breaking the law.
So,
but, you know, but deviants don't believe in keeping the law. Come on, quickly.
Sorry if I may, sir. It made me think of like what we talked about earlier, like the spirit of Antichrist and all that, and how it's just many versus one. And made me think of a quick question, a 15-second answer, if you can, like reincarnation versus resurrection. Like when Christ asked Peter, who you say I am? Peter said, thou art the Christ. Like, is reincarnation one person coming back as another person versus coming back as themselves, for example? Or like,
okay.
I'm sorry,
It's all right. You got to just get the context. Jesus Christ was resurrected in the same body. He didn't even switch bodies. But then there's another resurrection where you have a different body. You just need the context and the precept that you're reading to get it. That's just it. The context will tell you. Rebirth is the term, and you can use them for both. But you need the context to know which one, all right? Levi, you want to say something?
Sir, I wanted to say, I don't want, through the many councils that you've had, and also on Cross the Line, which we have a show on every first Thursday of the month, which is dedicated for that. What you'll find out is that a lot of women become promiscuous or go to alternative lifestyle because they were raised when they were younger by a man.
That's how they became lesbian, because some man forced themselves on her, and now because of that, they're rebelling against it by becoming the thing that hurt them. But of course, this pig wants to be the future Jeffrey Epstein, the future Puff Diddy. And it's important that you see it now, as opposed to seeing all of their money and all of their so-called success, because then one day you'll realize that the person that is leading you is beneath you. The person that's leading you is a deviant, and you're only following them for money. I'm going to give you the precepts in 1 second. Let me just give you all these videos, and then, of course, I'll back up everything that I'm saying in the Bible. I'll give you the precepts on them, all right? I'll give Asher 1 second. What other videos are we holding? That's all the videos for the deviants, right?
No, we got Why Men Cheat from Detective Nate from IUIC.
All right, go ahead.
Ready, sir?
Please.
Intimacy is what keeps the relationship together. In 1 Corinthians chapter 7, that Satan will come in. Right. If that woman is creating an environment where they can't, because intimacy is what keeps the relationship together. I don't know if your woman will be like, the box is locked and you ain't getting none. Exactly. And I don't care how you feel. Right. But men need the intimacy it stabilizes us, it keeps us calm, it's release. We want that intimacy with you. But you thinking in your head that your vagina is the God of all vaginas, and you're not going to give him none. And that's, you just got to go.
Let me help you young brothers out with something. Okay, this is going to be hard for you to understand because you are stupid. But listen carefully, all right? You cannot get sex from a woman by forcing her into it, by guilting her into it. You have sex with women by seducing them, by making them want to do it. If the way you get sex from your wife is, bitch, it's Thursday. We're supposed to be having sex. Open your legs. Open them up right now. I have to get this because God said in 1 Corinthians. I hear you, warrior. Okay, God did say that the marriage needs sex. But he's not talking, this is not what you use to force a bone dry woman into sex. That's not the point of the precept. The point of the precept is to tell both of you how this is important and don't let being angry with each other stop you from having this connection. But if you want sex with a woman, she has to want to do it. Don't you see? This is the whole problem with all of this Puff Diddy nonsense and Jeffrey Epstein nonsense. It's men who think that they can force a woman into sex when women have to want it. You can do that if you know how to talk, if you knew how to be nice, if you got some of Tazariak's oils, if you would rock these fringes and all of this, how we dress, and catch a hair braid and get your beard all looking good and go to the gym. Go and get that sleep apnea goddamn machine. Go do it. Put it on your damn mouth so you can have some energy and you can talk and laugh and talk to her and tell the bitch a joke. Make her laugh. Compliment her. Tell her how good she looks. Listen to her. Sit there and go, really? Why is that? And when did that happen? Tell me more. Do that. Then you won't have to go, you have to do it. You must do it. You won't have to coerce her into doing it, which is in the statute for sex trafficking. The word coercion, which is to force them to do it. It is something that you learn, I guess, from the pedophiles in your life, or you learn to get sex, I guess, from forcing her to do it when she has to want it, Doc. Make her want to do it. Now, if you're going to learn how to be married from this purple pig, you're going to end up on the news. You're going to end up in some scandal. Any more videos? Can I, 1 second?
I got a bunch of videos, sir.
Okay, hold the IUI. I'm about to go into the other IUIC videos. Come on, Asher. Levi.
If I may add one, I'm trying to wrap my head around what is it about these women that they are locking up the box and not giving it up because we running from the box over here.
I don't know. That ain't something I ever understood.
It's too much box over here, so it's not.
These
they locking it up.
You want to know when you got a good. Let me tell you how you know when you're really doing your duty as a marriage, right? You're doing your duty as a marriage when she wants it. You're not forcing her and yelling at her to open her legs like feeding time at the zoo. She actually wants to do this. It's consensual, right? You need that term in your life, or else you end up embarrassing everybody and you end up on Epstein Island. It has to be consensual. She's got to want it. And you don't know this, but women do want it. They'll want it. They'll want to have sex with you, but it's going to take you working on yourself as opposed to your ability to force someone with your physical strength to have sex with you. If you don't stop doing things like that, you're going to end up in Puff Diddy's situation. Men like this will lead you straight into that situation because you'll think a woman is just open your legs, bend over. I have to have it. You have to do it. When a good man in the UPK has a wife that wants to do it, she wants to do it. Everyone understands. Okay, that's it for this. Let me give you more on the IUIC so I can give you these precepts, all right? Now, also the IUIC did a interview sometime this week or sometime recently. They got interviewed this week. The brother sent me the interview. I want to show you some terrible, terrible behaviors that you cannot allow to lead you. What do you have first?
If there are any other, the gold and purple. Is this was this garb from the very beginning? In what is this?
Well, if you look at the videos, stop for a second. This is this devil asking that. That's Nasty Nate, Bishop Nasty Nate of the IUIC, the Purple Pigs. He's asking them why do they wear purple and gold? That's his question, right? Where did you come up with it at? Listen carefully. Go ahead.
When we were on the street teaching, we didn't have any garb. We had fringes on. That was it. So I remember talking one day about what Christ suffered when they dressed him with a crown of thorns and put on a robe of purple and began to beat him. So I said, you know what? We should wear purple. And then Deacon Malachi was a young man at the time. He overheard the conversation I was having. So his wife went and designed a purple garment. And from there, that's what we did.
Okay, and it's just kind of a way to distinguish yourself. There isn't a kind of like a scriptural thing.
Yeah, so
Okay, probably not.
saying so it's just a way to distinguish yourselves. So Nathan's saying that because Christ, the Romans forced Christ to wear a purple robe. He decided to dress all of those sodomites in purple because the Romans threw a purple robe on Christ. Why did the Romans put a crown of thorns on Christ? Anyone know? Why did they put a purple robe on Christ? Ephraim?
If I may, sir, it was to mock him actually because he was accused of being
him.
To be
It
king of
was
the
to
Jews.
throw the color that the Romans wore, that Caesar wore. They put that robe on him to mock him. They put the crown of thorns on him to mock him, since they were saying he was king of the Jews. So they made a crown made out of thorns so he could stab him in his head to mock him. These pigs went and started wearing purple because the Romans wanted Christ to wear purple to mock him. Then the devil is going to say, so it has no biblical basis, right? That's what you need for now. Keep going.
Because you would have already flipped open to it if it was.
Well,
this is one of the rare moments where you actually like described to me like the person who, you know, people involved in it.
Well, in when you read in Samuel, King David had young women, virgins, and it said he had them all dressed in the same.
Pause. First of all, that is not in that scripture at all, right? Do you know this? What did he just say? Who can even understand what he just said? He just, the precept that he pulled when the devil said it doesn't come from the Bible. He said, well, it actually does, because David had virgins that he dressed them all the same. He's saying that he's doing this because there's a precept where women dress like this.
So he
Where
calls
women
men
dress like this. Come on.
He called his men women.
Yeah, he's saying the devil is saying, is there something in the Bible? Well, there is a scripture where David dressed all these virgins the same. The scripture that he's referring to is when David had his virgins, these young girls, wear clothing of many colors. That's what it says. It doesn't say the same. It says many colors. This sodomite is dressing all of those men up in purple because he believes there's a precept where David's women that he was going to have sex with wore purple. He's going to be the next scandal, him right here. Here's the next scandal. Next precept, next video.
Garment, colorful garment. So I saw it as a type of order, okay? And we do definitely, wherever you go in any job or organization, there's a dress code, whether it's even the police department.
Stop. So then he gives more reason on why he makes them all dress the same. Why is he making them dress the same? There's a precept where women all dress the same, and he's making them dress the same because
the police
dress the same. He just said it just now. Play it again. Come on.
There's a dress code, whether it's even the police department, the military. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
You go to work for Goldman Sachs. You can't go in there with a t-shirt, jeans, and sneakers, or short pants. Hey, put on your suit and tie. A lawyer, you got to wear dress a certain way.
So it's also kind of part of this.
Is this supposed to be a man of God? So are you telling me if you're in the IUIC, you're dressing in all purple because there were virgins in the Bible that he thinks did it, and the police and the military do it? That is the reason for you doing that? Is that who you follow? Is that who is leading you, that piece of garbage that will make you think that in some way God is inspiring him to wear this color when he's doing it because the police all dress the same? Our oppressor dresses the same at Goldman Sachs. So that's why he has to do it. He's your next Puff Diddy, him. And if you need more proof, what did they tell you about Puff Daddy in that Fox News piece? They said that Puff Diddy was videotaping every room to get evidence on the people who came to his parties. Did everyone hear that? Play the next video about Nate being a cop, please, if you don't mind.
I think it might be the same one here.
Okay, go ahead.
Larger project of order.
It brings about order. Yes, it brings about unity as well. You know, women is funny with women. They like to set themselves apart from other women.
Yeah.
I want to see more beautiful than this woman, and that's a form of covetousness, vainglory. And in order to, men, we all dress when we're all together, and it's a form of. The heels got to be like this. Like, if you notice,
all
that
that
have a dress
lie,
code,
not in the
steal a
Bible.
gold chain. You know, so observe.
It might be in a separate video. If I sent you 3 videos on Messenger, give me the one where they ask him, "Are you still a cop?" That's how you know how it starts. The devil is going to ask him, "Are you still a police officer?" See me one more time with the chaser, please. If you should have it. Not
okay. Probably not, because you would have already flipped open to it if it was.
Well,
this is one of the rare moments where you actually described to me the person who people involved in it.
Well, in when you read in Samuel, there's a dress code.
Okay. On your phone, okay. I got another. Okay, they saying it's fine, solid. All right, go ahead.
So I'm just looking for that video. 1 second.
Tazaryak might have it. 1 second, Ethan. Tazaryak, you have the one about him saying he's a cop?
Yeah, I'll see it.
All right, go ahead, Ethan, while we waiting. You want to say something?
If I may, sir, I have in scripture what he read with King David and the virgins. 2 Samuel chapter 13, verse 18. And she had a garment of diverse colors upon her, for with such robes were the king's daughters that were virgins apparelled. Then his servant brought her out and bolted the door after her.
That's the precept right there. That's the one he's referring to. That, yeah. It of course doesn't say anything that he said it says. It's saying that David put those virgins in garments or cloaks of diverse colors because they were rich. So they were expensive, which is what the diverse colors that's what it would cost to have a garment with many colors in it. It would be an expensive garment because colors cost money, right? You can just have the color of the wool, or you can dye the wool, which costs money to make those dyes. Purple was expensive, which is why Caesar wore purple. Everybody understands. All right. Okay, give me 1 second. The brother will find it, all right?
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to pop up.
I just emailed it to you.
Come on, sir.
Let me give you the precepts I need at the end of this, all right? I'll need I need Romans 2:24. And then I'll need Isaiah 52:3.
Something going on. Please.
I think this is it right here, sir.
Can you get it right side up for him?
Sir.
That ain't good. Just play the sound.
It fixed itself.
Okay.
I don't know.
You don't know. So, what was your day job all this time?
Listen carefully.
Police. New York City Police Department. That was my day job.
And you retired now?
Maybe.
Maybe you're still.
You heard that? Hey, I'll make sure they can hear you out because the sound. 1 second now. The sound is going to be bad. I mean, the visual is bad. So just make sure everyone can hear him. Go ahead.
So, what was your day job all this time?
Police. New York City Police Department. That was my day job.
And you retired now?
Maybe.
Maybe you're.
I can't tell you.
You can't tell me.
Maybe something going on. I can't.
You can't.
Maybe there's something going on. Maybe. Are you retired? Maybe. I can't tell you whether I'm retired. Is something going on? You IUIC dummies. He is filming you. He is compiling evidence on his own people, on them. And before you know it, when they come to arrest him, for God knows what he's doing in Ghana. Lord knows what he's doing, traveling That's what Asher said. You got to travel, right? So if you bring little boys, little girls from Ghana over to Brooklyn, that sounds like sex trafficking to me. That's what Levi said about the Haitian sisters, right? And you better shut your mouth about it because he might still work for the police. What is going on? Something is going on. What exactly is going on?
I thought you're supposed to let your yays be yays. And
You're supposed to, but of course he doesn't know the Bible at all. You hear that precept in 2 Samuel he pulled. Something is going on. What is going on? You dummies that wear that stupid gay purple nonsense that a woman invented, you better be careful because I understand why you love him because he reflects so much money and he's like Goldman Sachs. I understand why you love him, but you're making a terrible error. And I'm telling you the way Commanding General Yohana told Puff Diddy. I'm telling you the same way. Now you know. Now let me give you, now with that said, now give me the precept I asked for. Give me Romans 2:24. Please. Romans 2:24.
It's the book of Romans chapter 2 and verse 24. For the name of the Most High is blasphemed amongst the Gentiles.
Now I've taken enough time to show you what the world does, right? I've shown you what the IUIC does. The IUIC is the same thing as Puff Diddy. All of them are a bunch of sexual deviants compiling video on their own members or their own party goers to work with the government. Nate works with the government. He's telling you it right here on this video. So now, come on, Hazard.
On Monday, sir, Commander Johanna said to watch a show on Netflix called American Conspiracy, The Octopus Murders, right? And on episode 4, right, there was the reporter, he's interviewing one of the guys that came from Desert Storm, and he was asking him, are you military intelligence or are you the CIA? And his answer was very much the same. It was like, maybe. You never really know sometimes.
Now you know, go make a video.
Yeah,
Go make a video of that. Put those videos together to make everybody see it. Come on.
Episode 2. There's a guy called Robert Booth Nichols, right? And he worked for the CIA. But when they doing the the interview with the prosecutors and all that, and they asking him similar questions like, do you work for the CIA? He's saying, well, I cannot exactly disclose that in public.
That's the video.
Always unsure whether you work for them or not.
That's your video, Mark. Go put those videos together and get them out. You got 2 days. Go and do it. Romans, the 2nd chapter. So now, what does it mean to you? So now we're hearing about what's happening in the world with Puff Daddy and with the IUIC, and with Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor, and with countless white entertainers. We know about what happened with TD Jakes. What does it matter to you? I'm going to show you how it matters to you. Read Romans 2:24.
Romans chapter 2 and verse 24. For the name of the Most High is blasphemed amongst the Gentiles through you.
Through what?
Through you.
Through what?
Through you.
Let me tell you why the IUIC is so disgusting. Because people think that they're men of God. People think that the Almighty God, Yahweh, the power of Israel, is represented by them. Now, why does that matter? Don't you ever shame this school the way the IUIC shames their school, shames that church. Don't you ever shame this righteous place the way that these sinners call themselves men of God and then shame the Christian church, shame the Muslim mosque, shame the IUIC. Every brother in here, it's your obligation to never become like them, or else people in the world will blaspheme the name of God through you because they found your tape, because you're now some drug addict. You want someone to find out, to see you going into some weed house to buy weed, eating edibles and buying gummy bears, and then they videotape you coming out of that place where they sell drugs. They videotape you with some slut. They videotape you committing some act of deviance. Now, what are you going to say about yourself? This is how Puff Diddy better teach you. It could happen to you. Here you are. You're a man of God. People look at you and they go, well, that brother is a righteous man. Oh, he's a man of God. What will they say about your God when they find out what you're doing? What will they say then? Now you have caused sinners to blaspheme the man of God. We know Christians are hypocrites, and we know Christianity is wrong because of Christians, because of TD Jakes. We know that everyone knows that the hip hop world is what? Full of sexual deviance. The music industry is what? Full of pedophiles. What will they say about the UPK if you don't watch your conduct? They'll say the same thing about us. You have a responsibility that the Most High's name never is spoken evil of, ever, because your reputation is his. Don't you see? God is not here. God is the invisible power. He's not here. So how do men know God? You are how they know God. How you behave, how you act. Your conduct says whether God is real or he's false. Keep reading.
As it is written, verse 25, for circumcision verily profited, if thou keep the law. But if thou be a breaker of the law.
Circumcision profits if you keep the law. If you make an oath to the Most High God, make a covenant with him, that's a good thing to do. It's excellent if you keep the law. But if you break the law, keep going.
Thy circumcision is made uncircumcision.
Now your circumcision is made uncircumcision. Now the oath that you made is an oath that you broke. Now everyone that hears about you will laugh and mock you the way we mock and laugh at the IUIC, the way we mock and laugh about Hollywood and the music industry. You better uphold your goddamn oath in here. You better make sure that you conduct yourselves not based on what you want to be, but what men expect you to be. Let me tell you something the Commanding General Yohana taught me of. He taught me to never be myself, but be what young men need me to be. Young men need you to be something. Shout out to Captain Nicard. He told me a hell of a story recently. Captain Nicard told me he ran into Bootsy Badass. Now, when Captain Nicard was a very young man, he listened to Bootsy Badass. He's another entertainer. And he looked up to Bootsy Badass, and he's a young brother of 15 or 16 when he was in the world. And so now he's a grown man, a captain in the UPK, and in the airport, he ran up to Bootsy. And when he went over to Bootsy and said, Shalom to Bootsy. He said Bootsy was terrified of him, horrified, would not speak, was just looking around as if he was being set up to be robbed. And he's trying to talk to him, and he was just terrified. And then finally, a car just walked away. And at that moment, he realized, damn, I looked up to this man. He was like a hero of mine from childhood. And now I realize that my idea of him is not who he actually was. You know what Commander General Yohana said? Be who young men need you to be. Young men need me to be a way, need me to act a certain way. They need me to do this for them because their faith is hanging on by a thread. They're trying to stay off of drugs. And I'm the reason that they stay off of drugs. They look at me and they go, boy, I can be like him. I can be strong like him. I can hold on like him. So I cannot be myself. I have to be what you need me to be. Be what young men need you to be. Fulfill their hero worship. Give them what they ask for. They want a hero. Be a hero. Don't be what you want to be, because in doing so, all of your failures and your human frailty will cause people to shame the God that you say you represent. I pray you understand. Give me the last precept.
Salakia.
Go ahead, Warrior.
Verse 26. Therefore, Salakia. Therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision?
So here you are. Now here you are in America. You're not in Jerusalem. You're not raised in the Middle East. But you keep the commandments of God. So although you're separate from the land of God, separate from the culture and traditions that we've lost for so many years, now you are that circumcision. Now you keep that covenant. You keep that bond. You can do it in Harlem. You don't have to let your environment control you. You can decide your behavior. It's a discipline. Anything else, Ak? Let me move on for time's sake. All right. Yes, give me Isaiah 52:3. I got to read this down a taste. All right.
Isaiah chapter 52, verse 3. For thus saith the Lord, ye have sold yourselves for naught, and ye shall be redeemed without money.
You shall be what?
Redeemed without money.
You shall be what?
Redeemed without money.
Let me tell you something, Israel. You have sold yourself for nothing. For nothing. You know how poor Puff Daddy is about to be out. You know how poor your drug lords are right now in prison. You know how poor they've become. I saw some documentary with that cat BMF's. His son is on some show by 50 Cent. And he was on some show saying that 50 Cent paid for him to go to acting school. 50 Cent paid for this and paid for his rent. As I'm watching it, I'm going, where's your father's money? I know where your father's money is. Gone. Yeah, Big Meech. His father's money is gone. Now he needs the charity of someone that's kind to him. Because all of your idols who you idolize because of their money, they're going to be extremely poor. You've sold yourself for nothing. You're going to sell drugs and become so poor from it. Become so poor because you sell drugs. It was for nothing. All of your scheming and going to Puff Daddy's parties. Can you imagine how many people went to those parties trying to make it in the music business, trying their best? How many girls went there thinking they were going to be the next Whitney Houston, end up being some sex trafficked slut? You sold yourself for nothing. And here's what is so sad for you. And you're going to be saved without money. Money is not going to be what saves you. Money will not be how you are redeemed. You're not going to make it out of this captivity because of money. Keep going.
Verse 4. For thus saith the Lord God, my people went down aforetime into Egypt to sojourn there.
There was a long time ago when the Israelites went into Egypt, and the Most High God had Moses lead them out of Egypt. But before they left Egypt, the Egyptians gave them of their substance. The Egyptians gave them gold and silver, gave it to them outright. They took that gold and silver and they needed it, and it helped them to rebuild their families and to rebuild their homes when they got out in the wilderness and when they got into a new land. That's how we left Egypt. The Egyptians gave us their gold, gave us their money. Keep going.
And the Assyrian oppressed them without cause.
When we were in Egypt, the Assyrians oppressed us for nothing. Keep going.
Verse 5. Now therefore, what have I here, saith the Lord, that my people is taken away for naught, that they that rule over them make them to howl, saith the Lord, and my name continually every day is blasphemed.
So now here we are in slavery for nothing, made to howl by our oppressors. Howling is talking about crying. And that's what we're doing everywhere throughout South and Central America, Haiti and the Caribbean, all throughout America, crying in the hands of people that hurt us for nothing. Keep going.
Verse 6. Therefore my people shall know my name. Therefore they shall know in that day that I am he that doth speak.
The Most High said we were going to know his name. He wasn't going to allow us to stay in captivity forever. He was going to deliver us, and we were going to know that we are his people and he is our God, and his name is Yahweh, and our name is Yashar Allah. Continue.
Behold, it is I. Verse 7. How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings.
How will they know? How will the Israelites know? You are how they would know. How beautiful are the feet of them that bring good tidings. Good tidings is the good news. Now you don't have to stay poor and die forever. The Most High God is going to deliver us. And why are his feet beautiful? Because everyone that sees you is down on their knees. That's what they see. Your feet, your boots. Your feet are beautiful because of the good news you bring. Keep going.
That publisheth peace.
That do what?
Publisheth peace.
They go and tell everyone that no more do blacks and Hispanics have to be cursed by God. Now we're going to have peace with God. That's why you brothers get out in that internet and get every subscriber you can. You spread this truth everywhere you can. You get 1 million subscribers. You push and you push and you push. You brothers that want to have major camps and food programs, you get permission and you do them. You want to turn the mic on, you do it. Put something on the goddamn internet that is bold and that makes the name of God known. Everyone understands. You have to publish peace. You're going to have to let everybody know that the name of God is back in this earth. We don't have to be filth anymore. We don't have to have our only way out of the hood is to go belittle and degrade ourselves at some party that Puff Daddy has. We don't need to do that. God will save this nation, and it won't be done with money. Continue.
That bringeth good tidings of good, that publisheth salvation, that saith unto Zion, thy God reigneth.
Keep going.
Verse 8, thy watchmen shall lift up the voice. With the voice together shall they sing, for they shall see eye to eye when the Lord shall bring again Zion.
That's what I just broke down to you. Go ahead.
Verse 9, break forth into joy, sing together, ye waste places of Jerusalem, for the Lord had comforted his people. He had.
What verse are you in?
Verse 9, sir.
That's you read all this far down. I'm gonna skip down to the money part. All right. Gold. I'm sorry. You said 9. You said.
Khan, sir.
Read 12.
Verse 12. For ye shall not go out with haste.
With what?
With haste.
That's referring to how we left Egypt. We had the Passover is coming again. We're remembering what it was like that night to leave out with haste, because the Egyptians did what? They pushed us out of Egypt when they woke up and saw their firstborn sons dead. And so we had to leave in haste when we left captivity the last time. Oh, this next captivity, you're not going to leave in haste. You're not going to be rushed out at all. Keep going.
Nor go by flight.
Nor you're not going to be running out of Egypt this next time. Keep going. That's also good for fake Israelite groups that think you have to fly and leave America and run out of America. No, that's not how it's going to happen this time. Keep going.
For the Most High will go before you, and the God of Israel will be your reward.
Will be our what?
Reward.
That's correct. Meaning no one is going to chase us. No one is going to run after us like the way Pharaoh came running after us with his army to unalive all of us in the Red Sea. That's what he thought he was going to do. No one chases us out this time, for the Most High will go before us. He's going to protect us. We're going to watch them be destroyed. We're going to watch them in terror. We're going to watch them suffer the way they watched us suffer. You don't need money this time, brother. All you need is righteousness. All you need is brotherhood and love. Time check.
It's 9:18.
9:18. I got to run on you. I can't do my Mi Espanol tonight. I got to run. I'll see you next week. I'll be in Texas. Killeen or Austin. I'm not sure. Go online and figure it out. Killeen or Austin, Texas. Who am I passing the class over? Priest Officer Paratazar. You got
Clap it up for the class. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Oh, the general winning. Men of Israel, I'm going to go courtesy salute. Imagine what you mean to say. Men of Israel, Ma'al Shabbat. Barak. Nazmatah. Class dismissed.
Shalom, Israel. This week on the Round Table of Truth, hosted by none other than Captain of 13,000 Mawa Quad of the IUIC, is going to have a special guest, Ike Taylor, former co-founder of the Gangster Disciples right in Chicago, and now inspiring leader of the growth and development movement. This brother right here is a Chicago historian and legend. You do not want to miss it. You understand? Tune in this Friday on the Round Table of Truth, live at 8 p.m.